Hey everybody, it's your favourite two-handed presentation to end the conference. Gregor and I are going to take you through all of the exciting things that we've been looking at in the automotive domain.
Thank you for the nice introduction. Yeah, let's talk the final session about the big topics in UX and how to actually provide and to improve them, because we just heard in the last session it's not a given thing. You don't find radio the easiest way with the easy button. It can be challenging, and we will talk about today what are the big topics and challenges. Okay, what about those big topics? Apps and connectivity. How are those interconnected and intertwined in the car? The user experience, as we now already heard in the previous session, the metadata challenges like station logos and prominence regulation we also heard a few times. So let's see what are actually the big topics. So yeah. I'm not from the car brand, but we are developing the one infotainment system for Volkswagen and the other part and group members like Porsche, Audi, you name it. But we are facing some troubles using Android Automotive, which comes as open source, so everything is easy, which is not, because there are some integral interfaces to support the giving and the wanted features all the users love. But yeah, although it's open source, it's not containing all the right features, because some announcement types are missing, some is missing there, some is missing there. So there's still a big effort to use this open source part and really provide a product out of it. So that's really an integral part where we work together with Nick and inside the UX group to say, hey, broadcasters, what features do you need? And then also with the OEMs and the suppliers, how can we actually provide those features into the dashboard in the end? And this is where we really need to collaborate, because Google is like this really big super tanker. You can write a letter, write 10 letters. Every OEM is writing a letter and nothing happens, or very small. So we decided, okay, we know what we want, put it into source code, put it to GitHub, and then tell everyone, this is what we want. Please, Google, take half a year or a year. Doesn't matter how much time you need, but then it's all in, and we don't need to back and wait anymore. So that's really important and key for the future. But this is only like solving basic stuff in the underbelly. And what the users still see is this. This is like my new electric car, which is only 1 year old. And yeah, why? I would like to have station logos on all stations. Yeah, just a minimal wish, but this is really looking bad. So yeah, still some way to go and to manage, because yeah, I wouldn't buy this car again with this kind of user experience. And on top, we also have a very nice example. You see the notes on the left. This is like the media button, no radio button at all. So it's always hard to actually find the radio if you moved like to Android Auto, CarPlay, or something else. It's really hard. Or if you are on Bluetooth, where was the radio again? So that's really our small tickles and pushes where we are working on together to push the user experience by the guidelines. Over to Nick.
So We have for some while had some user experience guideline documents, some instructions and some guidance for the people who design the radio experience in cars to understand the best way of implementing it. We've now decided that the best way to communicate with designers is to really reach out to them in the kind of language and the design that they understand. So we're moving our design guidelines from being a document to being a website that's very similar to the way that designers see things for things like Google's Material.io, or if they're designing for Apple, there's a whole website called the Apple Human Interface Guidelines. So we're going to be launching uxguidelines.org, which is the absolutely comprehensive source of everything you need to know for designing a user interface for radio in a vehicle. If you can give me a click on.
Sure.
Not only are we going to launch that in English, but we understand as well that as new automotive brands come to market who possibly have teams who aren't that fluent in English, we need to be able to support their local language versions as well. So here's an example of what it's probably going to look like once we do a Chinese version, which is obviously quite important given the number of Chinese manufacturers bringing EVs into the market. To give you a very quick look round, if you can give me another push there because that will start the video, we really have gone into everything. There will be some designers who will say, look, I get all this is fine, but we know that there are also lots of designers who will really appreciate lots of thought and information on what should the radio icon look like, what kind of words should I be using, what kind of logos should I be using. Click another one for me, thank you, and again. On the left-hand side there, you'll see the whole bunch of information for manufacturers. How should all this be rendered in the vehicle dashboard? But then also on that left-hand side, there's a whole bunch of information for broadcasters. How should you prepare your content, your logos, your visuals, your text, your traffic announcements information? How should you create and provide all of that stuff to also help create a great experience in the car? So we're quite a long way through designing uxguidelines.org. We have a bit more user testing to do. We're going to bring a few people from automotive design teams in to have a look at it. But this will be available very soon as a resource for everybody to use. Obviously, it is primarily focused on making sure that DAB is well represented, but it does also cover FM, and there's some footnotes in there that reflect the existing relationship we have in NABA in North America, where some things are different in the North American market, and you'll see some footnotes through this document as well that just say, if you're looking at this in the North American context, a few things are different.
Thanks a lot. So back to me. Why do we need everything which Nick just prepared and documented? And I think it's really important to have a new way of documenting that it's actually understood by the designers and makers of the human-machine interfaces and designs inside the dash. Because, yeah, as we heard before, we want to have the best user experience. And, yeah, essentially, what it's all about. You heard it already. We like to have really nice station logos, and we like to ask all the broadcasters and the OEMs to fix their bugs and don't. So we are still hoping that 1 year we don't have those bad examples anymore.
So you may spot a theme at this point. We think a good way of dealing with some of these problems is to have a website. We're going to have a website, the purpose of which is to bring together all the disparate issues that we're seeing about failure to just get radio station logos right. It's the most obvious problem we see. That's why we've gone for a really obvious name, wrongradiostationlogos.com. We think that will search well in Google. We're going to get that out for lots of people to use. The purpose of that is to give drivers instructions on how they can possibly solve problems with incorrect radio station logos themselves, is to give radio stations guidance on how they can fix problems. Maybe they're not making their logos available in the right way. It's to provide a structured communications channel between the issues we know that exist and the people we know who can fix them, and to kind of unpick some of the opaque ways that logos and metadata is getting passed around. The objective is ultimately to see the number of issues coming through that website decline over time, because we're getting better at managing and supplying that chain with the right stuff at the right time.
Okay. back to prominence and regulation. You already heard a lot about this because it's originating from Germany, but it's already picking up momentum all over Europe because it's really important to tell the users and the customers about the most important stations. So this is really important also for the UX group because in the end we need to have open standards to support this want in the different countries and also to support a good solution throughout Europe and then maybe in the rest of the world because I'm pretty sure this is a want in every area because you want to have the radio prominent in the car, which might be a nice ending for this show. So you would like to say the rest?
Yeah, so to summarize, the areas we see as being important right now, Android Automotive is not really as well set up for radio as it ought to be, but we have enough knowledge, enough experience, and enough people who can really fix that code to come together and create a solution that we want Google to adopt. We're going to launch the website UX Guidelines to really provide detailed information to people who may never have dealt with radio before. We'll be launching wrong radio station logos to try and provide a very, very specific fix for a very, very specific problem. And then we need, as Gregor said, to really understand not just what each individual country wants from its prominence regulation, its decisions on what radio stations it wants to protect, but looking at how that we can harmonize that so that the solution that we are producing for broadcasters and for manufacturers is contiguous across all the countries that it needs to be applied in, not done kind of awkwardly and piecemeal in each country. And that should be
the last
one.
Yeah.
So we do have 3 minutes left, which we were surprised about. So if anyone has a question, we have a question just down here. If there's a mic on the run. Mic is on the way. Right down here, hidden in front of the post, Rosie.
Thank you very much. I would like to come back to one of the slides you show where you were not satisfied with the list, with the logos in your car. What is your take on why are some of these logos missing and others are not? As far as I understand, there are different ways this logo could get into the device, via SPI, via the broadcast way, or via internet connection, or a local database in the car.
Sadly, it's the worst version because it's a baked-in database, and even the baked-in logos are old, and only FM stations get a logo. And if you're lucky, also the DAB station get a logo, but only if the ID is the same. And yeah, like all the other DAB stations don't get a logo, and they are not updated anyhow. So I have the car now already 1 or 2 years, so no updates for that. And the Bayern 2 and the Bayern 3 logos were already outdated when I bought the car.
So I think what we're trying to work out is nobody really seems to have a clear view of how a logo gets from a radio station to a car. It's different for every car, it's different for every model of every car, it's different for every build year of every model of every car. Which means it's extremely time-consuming for everybody to try and fix these problems. What we're going to be doing with wrongradiostationlogos.com is trying to bring together all of the knowledge that we have spread out across the whole industry to answer the question, how do I update my logo in that car? And if the answer is you can't, well, unfortunately, that's the answer. We won't be able to change that. But if the answer is you can, but this is what you've got to do, and this is what you have to do, and here's then at least we can measure that happened, that you were unhappy that the logo was wrong, and we've given you a specific set of steps to try and fix the logo.
All right, thank you very much.
That is it. I think we're out of time now. Ganz kurz.
I just want to emphasize that I'm super happy about the UX guidelines.
Me too.
I'm a bit ashamed that we didn't do that, but very well done.
Danke.
Bravo.
Danke.
Excellent.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks.
Excellent work. Thank you, Gregor.